Go ahead and get settled in for this real quick. Excuse me, y'all. Had a little stuff to do. So, excuse me. Just woke up, man. Y'all, excuse me. This morning, I got a little cold in my eyes or whatever. All of that. I want to talk about this Draymond Green Jordan Poole thing because this is something that really. I just wanted to sit back and wait for everything to unfold because there was a lot more to the story than what we was just seeing at first, and that's why I always wait for the whole story to come out because, as you see, the whole thing was out of context. So they was just showing the visual of the punch. They were showing the visual of the altercation, and they continued to harp on how bad Draymond reacted to the situation, even though he was pushed and even though he walked over to the man. And so this now that we fast forward, we see that this is not just an isolated incident. That Jordan Poole's been talking junk continually. There was an incident that happened to where he was talking junk to Draymond, and Draymond threw the ball at him and missed him and hit one of the personnel's kids. You know what I'm saying? That was just one. There's a couple other incidents where you have Jordan Poole once again instigated or initiating this uh, junk talking about Draymond on his last leg and all this and that. Of course, that dude going at some point get tired of hearing all of this, and he gonna punch that dude in his face. This is what generally happens when you run your mouth too much. I don't understand why people act like this is so shocking. Just because he's an athlete and he's making money. Oh, it's good morning, yo. Good morning, Mike. What's happening, man? Uh, Even though he making all this money, and people say, well, they should be held to a higher regard and they should be more professional. And you're not gonna sit here and keep on running your mouth to me and keep on disparaging me and think I'm not gonna punch you in it. That's what you really want. That's what you asking for if you continue to do these things with me. Now we all know that Draymond talk junk too. So when you talking junk and you got people that's going back and forth, don't you know at some point it's gonna come to throwing hands? That's some tension that's built up, and there's not a lot of people who can control themselves at all times whenever their emotions run high. Now that's just science. Science tells you whenever you get to a certain level of anger, your ability to control your actions pretty much go out the window as far as restraint. So that's why you have these crimes of passion, they will call them, because whenever a person comes in, the level of betrayal and heartbreak is so overwhelming that they lose control and they take somebody's life, but they couldn't control themselves. There's an actual law that is in play for people like that. And so, just in that alone goes to show you that a person can get to a certain level of emotion that they can't control their actions. And apparently, that's where Draymond was at, where he is with Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole should have kept his mouth shut. Of course, you don't allow the OGs to you don't want nobody to run you over. You don't want to be no doormat or nothing like that. But you gotta be more tactical in the way you deal with somebody. You can let somebody know that you stand up for yourself without actually going back and forth with them, because that's what a lot of people want sometimes, is a reason to start something with you. And so if you buy into it and you sink into that level, then that's on you. You know, I look at T.I. right now. T.I. going through this thing with Charleston White because Charleston White provoked T.I. into this situation because he know that this is going to give him a lot more props. He even said it himself. And so you see what's being done, man, and you understand fully what this guy is doing. But there's just certain things that you can't allow. There's certain things you can't allow. And when somebody goes across that line and they say something or they do the wrong thing that you just can't tolerate that, then you check that. You check that. And so that's what that now when you have the whole story in context and you go back and look at the video that they ran for days before they even gave you the full context of the story, you go back and look at the video now, how could it not be a scenario like, young boy, I'm tired of you running your mouth. You done said enough, and you need to check it right there. Get off me, old nigga. Bap. Sounds more feasible now with the whole story in its full context to me. You know, Jordan Poole, Young Buck, come in, you got your game, get your game off, get your money, get all that. But then all you're getting, get some understanding because you're not going to come in here and just keep poking the bear and thinking the bear ain't going to get up and do nothing about it, period. That's it. And we know that Draymond is in his last couple of years in the league. We know that he's not getting that money and that notoriety like he did in his healthier days. He know that too. He see the gray in his beard every day and the gray in his hair getting more and more, overtaking more of his head than the black. He see all that. And so for you to point out a man's insecurities at that point, you asking for what you get. You got exactly what you deserved in my mind. You got to know your place and you got to know when to keep your mouth shut. It's okay, like I said, it's okay to defend yourself. It's okay to have banter with somebody if y'all have rapport like that. But if it start getting malicious and it start turning into something else, then y'all need to chill and need to go on with that. But if you're going to insist in engaging in that type of activity with that dude, know what's going to come with it. Y'all going to come to blows. Y'all ain't the only people who ever fought on the same team. You know, a lot of people wouldn't tell it back in the day, but now you hear the stories coming out about how certain teammates didn't like certain teammates, how certain people didn't deal with certain people, how certain people wasn't nothing like what the image that they projected to the fans and the world. We hear all of these stories now in hindsight. And so when the actual full context of a thing comes out, it's already too late because we've already passed judgment on the situation in our minds. So based off the visual that they gave us, Draymond punching Jordan Poole, and I don't know why people say it was a sucker punch. If you standing straight on with somebody, y'all talking junk back and forth, you walking towards them in an aggressive manner, they push you and you punch them in their face, how is that a sucker punch? No, you just got punched in the face. You better learn how to bob and weave. You had people who had the audacity, the nerve to say that's a sucker punch. Boxers stand in front of each other and punch each other. So I guess their whole match is sucker punches. Please, miss me with that garbage. So my whole point is this, man. Draymond understands that his stock is going down, but he also understands that what he has, those intangibles, are needed in playoff time. Yeah, very much so in playoff time. If no other time, Draymond is one of the most important people on that team during playoff time. Tell me I'm lying. It's okay, I'll wait. Because it's the truth. He's one of, I'll say during playoff time, Draymond is more important than Clay. Yeah. What Draymond brings as far as emotion, as far as motivation, as far as instruction, as far as experience, Draymond is more important than Clay in playoff time. And so I say all that just to say, man, he still holds a lot of value for that organization, but there's certain things that they're not going to allow him to be able to exercise anymore that he could have got away with about 5 years ago. See, Jordan Poole is absolutely an up and coming star. There's no denial to that. There's no denial to his game. But this thing that he has with Draymond Green, he's going to have to figure something out, because if he don't, you at some point you're also going to. There's a certain chemistry that a team has, and I'm not saying everything is kumbaya and everything is a utopia within that team, but there's a certain level of respect, there's a certain level of understanding, and there's a certain level of, hey, I need to pull back. This is my teammate. So when you come in and you're interrupting that, because, we've heard stories of people arguing and this and that, but when you come in and you're interrupting that, you're agitating and interrupting one of the most important pieces of that team, because you feel like you can take this place and you can fill his shoes. You out of place, youngster, because those intangibles that I was talking about that are the most important during the playoff times for that team, Jordan Poole, you don't have that yet. You don't have that to offer. You don't. And just shooting is not going to take the place of all of the other things that Draymond Green brings to the team. So for you to come in there and think that you can feel his shoes and you got that little swagger about you, he feel that, he see that. And then you're going to poke the bear too. So you get what you get. You get what you deserve. And, excuse me. So this is what you do, man. Y'all better have a sit down. Steph, better get those guys. Y'all better have a sit down, and not at the stadium, not at the arena, not at the office. No, this is gonna be something outside of that. You know what I'm saying? At one of y'all homes, and y'all gonna have a real. What is this? What is this issue? How do we fix this issue meeting? That's something that y'all have to do as the players. Y'all been seeing this going back and forth. Y'all been recognizing everything that's been going on. So apparently having nobody said nothing about it or really intervened for it to go to this level, for it to get to that level. Yo, if those my teammates, man, I'm like, yo, y'all chill with this. I'm pushing him that way. I'm pushing him that way before they even start walking up to each other like that. But if you look at the video, it's like nobody really wanted to intervene until they actually saw them fight. Nah, the intervention would have happened way before it got to that point. And so I will say this would be great content for Draymond's podcast. I'm not saying nothing, but I'm just saying that definitely would be great content. Now, would Draymond do this and jeopardize all of that just for content on a podcast? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of people out there who dogging Draymond Green out right now, and Draymond needs to do, especially Stephen A. Man, shut up, dog. Draymond needs to understand this. Draymond Green bro. All right, man, I'm stumbling up, but. Nah, man, Draymond don't need to do nothing but play Draymond's game and understand what Draymond means to that team. One of the worst things you can do is compare yourself to other people. So Draymond needs to stop comparing himself to this young guy. Understand what he has left in his tank and what he have left to do. He already got his rings. He already got his accolades. He got his money. Bro, it's hard to let go. It's hard to pass the torch on to the next, especially when the next coming in talking a whole bunch of junk. But you still got to do it. Go out with class, man. That's all I can really say for Draymond. Go out with class, bro. You don't have nothing else to prove to the NBA. You've done everything above and beyond to prove to the NBA who you are, what you stand for, and just keep it cool, man. You probably find you a spot in the Hall of Fame on down the road. You know what I'm saying? You and Steph and them can look back on this stuff and laugh about it. But right now, bro, right now, dog, yeah, that ain't it. Don't go out with a scandal like they love to send you out. Don't go out with a scandal, bro. Don't do that. It's already enough of the brothers going through it. Ask Coach Udoka. He's going through it. They sending him out bad, man. They doing him real bad. And then they wait about 2 weeks later before they drop before they reveal who the lady is. And then that lady turns out to be, just like we said, married to somebody who's within the organization that is close to Danny Ainge. There you have it. There's that. Oh, wow. So we understand the play. We understand the play. And they say, oh, he cheated on me along with this. You don't understand how much money and power these people in that front office have. Now, she may have a job down here, but that was a favor. That was a favor from Danny Ainge. Hey, man, my lady needs something to do. Can you give her a spot here? Sure, bro, I got her. Don't nobody know what that woman's husband does. All we know that that's friend to Danny Ainge, the legend, the NBA legend, Danny Ainge. And so we see what the dynamic is now. Because the person worked within an organization in a lower capacity, they use that, oh, well, he's using his power and his advantage over her, and that's against company policy. That's the only way they could get him on that, even though the person that she's married to, who's connected to Danny Ainge, has actually far more power than Coach Udoka did. And so that power dynamic is actually the other way around. Because this woman, and you see now where the power dynamic lies, because that woman they was not going to reveal who that woman was until people started really, really bringing it up and making it a true issue. Her, they kept her identity concealed long enough to get their story together, long enough for Danny Ainge to coordinate with that lady and her husband and get their story together. Yeah, that's what went down. So we see how the play goes. Draymond been in this league for a long time. He's been a very outspoken person. So we always know that Draymond Green has something to say, regardless of, you know, how it affects his money, because a lot of the things that he say and do does affect his money. It affects his money. It affects his marketability. That's the big word right there, his brand, his marketability, his ability to be sold to another. Ooh, that didn't even sound right. That sounded like slavery. You're bringing down your marketability. You're bringing down my ability to sell you to somebody else. That sounds so familiar, but I digress on that. I'm talking about basketball right now. Yeah, Draymond, we need to go out with some class, man. So many of our great athletes go out with, you know, just different dirt on their name, man. And we even saw it when Kobe died. It wasn't even a hot 24 hours before you had people speaking about what happened in Colorado with the young lady. And deservedly so. A lot of Kobe fans got upset, even Snoop Dogg, to the point to where, he called out Gail King, and it was just an ugly thing. But you know, yeah, bro, you gotta be smarter. Be a little bit smarter, man. You understand what this young buck is trying to do. You understand his immaturity because you was there at a point in your career when you first came in the league, and still deal with a little bit yourself, so you understand what spirit this young buck is coming in, man. So just, I don't know what you're gonna have to do, but go out with a bang, bro. Not a bang like that, but go out with some class, go out with some style, because they will love nothing more than to be able to drag you through the mud for the way that you've not cooperated with them over the years. You've told the truth about media, and you've coined the term new media and old media. So I I see in your future there's going to be a lot of opportunities thrown your way based on your personality, your character, and you running your podcast, and just sharpening your skills on the journalistic side. So generally, they're going to offer you a job with TNT or ESPN or one of those guys, Fox Sports, something like that, to try to get you under wraps, to try to have something to hold you at bay and control what you say, because they know if they just let you go off on your own and do your own thing on your own podcast, then they're going to have to do a lot of damage control, because you're one of those guys who's going to reveal some things that may still be uh, something that you could take somebody to court for. You know what I'm saying? It might still be within the statute of limitations. That's what I was thinking to say. And so, just be careful, man, because if they can't control you, you know what they're going to do with you. This is your boy D-Mac, man. That's all I wanted to say. I appreciate y'all for coming in this morning. Draymond, stay on your P's and Q's, man, because they're going to come at you any type of way, and they're going to use anything that you do to demonize you from this point forward. So you got to know and understand and recognize that. And if you don't, can't say that nobody tell you. Yo, I'm out. I know what I say. Sticks and stones can break your bones, but the word can always heal you. Now,